Philadelphia's chance to reset following an embarrassing loss in Big D just got a lot harder. And yet, here what Kevin Patullo claims is a new wrinkle to help get the running game going finally this week. Plus the uncertainty surrounding key starters for Chicago that might be the leg up the Birds are looking for, and why Vic Fangio must get a little uncomfortable to slow down Caleb Williams. I'm Thomas Mott, this is the Thomas Mott Show. In the past, a cold November duel with Chicago was usually a one-sided affair, at least in terms of records, as most recently it was a 3-win Bears team Philadelphia had to weather in Chicago on their road to a Super Bowl berth in 2022. And yet this time around, in November, the only similarity is going to be the cold, as Ben Johnson's Bears are anything but pushovers because instead of just 3 wins, they actually have just 3 losses. And the winner on Friday evening is going to get a massive boost in a hunt for a number 1 seed in the NFC. First, though, it is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. And so you get one final chance to enter the Jordan Spector Art Brandon Graham Relic Card Giveaway happening on Saturday. Very simple. Subscribe, drop a like, comment BG down below. Now, as usual, we'll start with injury reports, and on a short week, they are usually filled with a ton of varying levels of issues on both sides. When I mean filled, I mean Philadelphia's at least had a whopping 10 players on their final injury report, including Saquon Barkley, Reed Blankenship, Landon Dickerson, and Brandon Graham. For those 4 at least are expected to play on Friday, and that's good news. In fact, out of the 10 on said report, there's one question, and that of course is DeVonta Smith. Smitty was somehow hit with the trifecta of a shoulder issue, / chest issue, / now an unknown illness on Thursday, with 2 of the 3 likely stemming from his heroic catch as seen here in the second half against the Dallas Cowboys. And to be honest, we don't know. We have no idea as of early Thursday morning if DeVonta Smith is going to play. I think he's not going to, just based on the historical fact that when an Eagle player has been a DNP 2 times before a game so far this season, they have not played. Could it change? Game time decision, sure, but it's looking like number 6 is going to be out. So, of course, things can change, but for history's sake, let's just assume DeVonta Smith is not going to go. The other replacement, well, it's Jahan Dotson, who as usual has been grossly underused, but seemingly always ready to take over, at least when needed. If the Slim Reaper isn't out there, Chicago will likely double A.J. Brown even more than usual, meaning one-on-ones all game long for the former first-rounder, so I guess here's at least hoping to Jalen looks his way on Friday. Now, I have seen some people suggest that Philadelphia elevated Britian Covey yesterday, finally by the way, to the active roster, not just to replace Xavier Gibson, but also so he can get some receiver reps with Smitty out. While it's possible, my guess is Covey is simply going to get a shot at kick returning after Gibson's rough outing in Big D. And that is a big deal. I know a lot of people are saying Britton Covey's a kick returner, he's washed up, and I know we haven't really seen what he can do in 2025. Not very healthy in 2024, obviously fantastic in 2023. Xavier Gibson has a fumbling problem, at least he did this past week. Here's just seeing what Britton Covey can do back in his old number 18 versus the Bears on Friday. Now, quickly on the weather, and I only mention the weather whenever it's not supposed to be very good, and well, expect a repeat of the Green Bay game, at least in terms of the cold and naturally the wind, with gusts reportedly up to 30 miles an hour at Lincoln Financial Field. So, Kevin Patullo, can you please figure out how to run the football in this weather? And of course, the architect of that rushing attack, or at least should be, is Kevin Patullo. And while I have said I'm not a fan of his press conferences, he rambles a ton if you watch these things. He at least did say, at least in the most recent one, they're going to try something new for the running game to maybe get it going for Chicago this week.
You know, the guys are excited for something new this week to kind of see if we can get it going. And really, it's just a challenge upon us. Right? When we go into the game, we have a certain plan, and if we have to adjust, we will. And I know everybody's eager to move on, and especially with a short week, it's good to kind of get this thing going and try to get the run game going because we know it's an important piece of the offense. And we know it's not going to be like last year. We just got to find our way this year and really work through it.
What exactly is something new? I have no idea. Maybe it's just blocking well up front. That'd be new. That'd be fun. Or perhaps it's more Tank Bigsby runs. As we said for many weeks now, Tank Bigsby needs to get more carries, and it's not just me saying that or you. How about PFF currently rating him as the highest graded running back this season, despite just having 22 carries? Surely this week he deserves more than 1 a game like he got versus the Cowboys? Maybe? Also, for as interesting as the Bear defense is, especially when it comes to takeaways, more on that in a second, this is not a good run defense by any means. As the Pittsburgh Steelers, a terrible rushing offense, ran for 186 yards on the ground literally last week. As a whole, Chicago's run defense ranks 28th in the National Football League, which obviously is noteworthy for Saquon Barkley, Tank Bigsby, and the rest. I know, every single week, I try and come on here and say, this defense is bad in this area, and the Eagle offense can finally get things going. Every single week, it doesn't happen. So, who knows? Can they run the football versus the Bears? I don't know, but can I at least sit back and hope that maybe finally losing a close game, like the one this past week to the Dallas Cowboys, will light a fire under Kevin Patullo, Jalen Hurts in the offense to finally figure things out. Fingers crossed, don't hold your breath.
The frustration level is high, right? Because we know how close we were, and if those things don't go the way they go, it's a whole nother outcome.
I think it's a team message. It's a team message of how you respond. Your response is very important in anything you do. And so it's a question of how bad you want something, what you're willing to do to get it. Continue to come together to achieve the collective.
Also, I want to give a really quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, SeatGeek. Philadelphia's regular season, oh my gosh, it's absolutely flying by, and your chance to actually see our birds in person is not going to last much longer, which obviously is why SeatGeek is here to help. And finding those great deals on Eagles tickets via SeatGeek is super easy thanks to their rating system. Deals on SeatGeek are ranked on a scale from 1 to 10, with green dots basically meaning the best deals, yellow, mediocre, and red, might only pass on those. Go for the green deals and you're not going to be disappointed. Plus, as you guys know, SeatGeek, it's not just for Eagles games, but for all Philadelphia events like Flyers and Sixers as well, plus comedy shows, music festivals, and more with over 70,000 listed events. And yes, as usual, I have a discount code for you. Use promo code MOT10 to get 10% off your next purchase of tickets with SeatGeek. And of course, it's super easy. You just click the link down below in my description box, download the SeatGeek app right to your cell phone, add my promo code MOT10 to your account, and happy buying. Go to an Eagle game this year, go to a Sixer, a Flyer game, whatever you want to do. Use SeatGeek, use my promo code. Trust me, you're going to love them. Of course, time will tell, but one thing is for sure. Their Bear defense, despite the run game woes, are very opportunistic and are going to try to make Philadelphia do the one thing they haven't done all year, I guess except for last week. Take the football away from Jalen Hurts. Chicago right now leads the NFL with 24 takeaways this year. 16 of those are interceptions. Philadelphia is number 1 in the NFL with only 6 turnovers on offense, with just one of those being a pick the entire year. Something has to give.
Yeah, they do a really good job of coming after the ball. Their secondary does a nice job, just ball hawking and seeing space. The safeties do a good job keeping vision on the quarterback. They really fly to the ball. I mean, it's really impressive what they do at all levels. Their front seven plays extremely hard. And I think the biggest difference is what you see is it's on their mind when they're going to tackle you, when they're going to do something. I mean, they're constantly going after the ball. They're hustling all over the tape. You're not going to have a lot of plays where you see one guy rushing, and then somebody not coming after it to make a tackle. It's all a group effort. And so when you get that, that was one of the things we focused on today in the meeting was just taking care of the ball. It's going to be a huge part of the game, and that's what we got to do.
Just like how something has to give with the Bears' full injury report. Goodness gracious, as they had 6 more players, mostly on defense, once again on Thursday, full DNPs. And that includes basically the entire Bears linebacker unit. No TJ Edwards in this one. They are completely banged up on defense, and yet they keep winning football games, but still, this is not 100% healthy. They're really not even close. One question mark, though, has to be Chicago's best cornerback in Jalen Johnson, who they're saying might give it a go. There's been some hints. CJ Gardner-Johnson maybe spoiled that, saying he's going to go, but he's been a full participant the past 2 weeks with a groin injury, yet hasn't played. Is he going to play on Friday? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure Chicago knows yet. Game time decision, but if DeVonta Smith is not out there, he could really be a threat versus A.J. Brown. Still, though, for all the Eagle offensive drama and the Bears' banged-up defense, all eyes outside of Philadelphia who aren't worried about Kevin Patullo and Jalen Hurts are going to truly be on Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, and this Bear offense versus Vic Fangio and Philadelphia's defense. As Fangio is coming off his worst second half of the entire season just a few days prior against the Cowboys. Well, yes, Dallas is probably better on paper. Statistically, Chicago is not far behind them.
Ben does a good job of mixing it up. They package things well together. They play multiple personnel groups. And, they're under center a good bit,
Caleb Williams is night and day better from his interceptions, sack-filled first-year campaign as a rookie, as this year, especially vertically down the field and against the blitz, he's been money. As during Chicago's recent 4-game winning streak, he's thrown 7 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions. And as I said earlier, maybe most importantly, he is not taking nearly as many sacks as he did 1 year ago.
Yeah, a very explosive offense, has a lot of weapons, takes care of the ball. The quarterback's doing a good job extending plays. And they got a lot of upgrades this year.
And of course, Philadelphia, they were getting sacks a couple of games ago until they played the Dallas Cowboys and hardly got to Dak Prescott the entire day. Plus, they're going to have a new starter on defense, at least one of them. That'll be safety Sidney Brown. He hasn't played a single game as a starter this season due to Drew Makuba playing well, but at least during his press conference a couple of days ago, he does sound confident and ready to roll.
Every week I prepare to, prepare like I'm going out there to start to the best of my ability. And, what's going to be really nice is getting the reps under my belt up till Friday. Especially on a short end of the week, you're not going to really get all the live reps, but, just getting those mental reps, getting those reps in walkthrough. And, I think those are huge. That's something that I'm not used to, on a week basis, but, getting that this week is going to be amazing.
Ben Johnson and this Bear offense, especially with Caleb Williams, they're no joke. I tried to write them off earlier on in the year. They gave up 51, 55 points to Detroit a couple of weeks, at least early on in the season. Since then, lights out. They're getting turnovers and they're winning close games. However, as we say with every single quarterback, but I truly mean this with Caleb Williams, get to him early, blitz him often, put his butt on the ground, and he will turn the football over if presented. And maybe one of those turnovers could go to Adoree Jackson, who we thought was not going to play in this one a couple of days ago as he was reportedly diagnosed with a concussion. And yet, we found out a couple of days ago that he did not officially have a concussion versus the Cowboys, but did in fact test negative. He's been off the injury report, and he should, this is on should, they haven't guaranteed it, but should be out there on Friday afternoon. All in all, my confidence stems from the fact that Philadelphia's back is truly against the wall, even though they're just 8-3. Because yes, they could lose this game and be fine, but if they want to be a top 2 seed, you have to beat currently the number 3 seed, who has the same record as you, in the Chicago Bears. Do that, you still would probably get the number 2 seed overall, still have a chance for the number 1 seed. If they lose on Friday though, the 2 seed gets a lot tougher, and the 1 seed, you could almost kiss it goodbye. Plus, I do think the embarrassment from the Cowboys a couple of days ago, it's really hit home for a football team that's flirted with fire every single game, seemingly this year, and you come out on top more times than not. As the vibes inside the locker room all week long seemingly have the guys motivated to prove that Sunday was a fluke and not what they're going to be the rest of the way in 2025.
I think it was ultimately a good thing for us to, I think that when you have two, really incredible performances that, not that we were riding high or thinking we're, the shit or too good for anybody, whatever, but to have something like that just constantly reminds us we still have things to work on. So I think ultimately that's going to be a good thing in the long run. So yeah, it's been cool to kind of, see kind of the ups and downs, and, everybody's steadfast and confident, nobody's losing hope or super dejected from the loss. So yeah, I feel very comfortable.
And so we'll see. I'm confident. I know Vegas has them as a touchdown favorite right now. Philadelphia, that is. I think it's a little bit generous. Again, we'll see. They can get after Caleb Williams. If they can stop DeAndre Swift, didn't mention him. A lot of ex-Eagles on that Bear roster. Cedric Gardner-Johnson, Kevin Byard. They should have a fine day. Give me your thoughts down below in the comment section, including a score prediction. And as always, you're subscribed to enter the giveaway here. Comment BG down below. But also, join us for a Black Friday special edition of the Thomas Mott and Josh Davis live stream as we stream the game a couple of minutes before kickoff. It's going to be a bunch of fun on Amazon Prime. I'm Thomas Mott. Happy Thanksgiving from my family to yours. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.